be life on life. This is not large group discussion. This is small group time. So divide into small ratios. The second one is get everyone involved every single week. It should be your job as a small group leader to facilitate the discussion in such a way that whoever the kid is, whatever kind of personality they walk in with, they are engaged in what's happening. We're gonna have shy kids, we're gonna have kids that don't wanna engage with what's happening. It's your job to call them out very lovingly and just say, John, like, man, what do you think about this? Or if you've had a previous discussion, you've maybe heard some input on it. You say, man, you had a really good take earlier. Can you just share with the group? But your job here is to make sure that each student is heard, because when they're heard, they're gonna feel known. So make sure that we are getting everyone involved. The third one is redefine the win weekly. This is for you. This is before you step into small group, before you even get to youth group this night. You should be redefining the win in your mind. And that's going to look different every week. That's going to look different group to group, leader to leader. Maybe for you, it's hearing from a student who hasn't spoken in weeks. Maybe it's actually going deep in conversation for once when you have a group that doesn't really like to go deep. Maybe it's that you didn't need the questions in conversation. You just kind of let conversation flow that night. Whatever the win is for you, whatever the win is for your group, redefine that win every single week. This is going to give you goals. This is going to give you a direction to run with during your small group. Number 4 is allow for quiet space. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to ask a question and no one is going to respond. It's going to be dead silent. Kids are just going to sit there. They're going to do this. They're going to try not to make eye contact. They're going to look around. They're going to act like they're thinking, and nothing's going to happen. In these moments, you have one of two things you can do. You can either bail them out and say, oh, here, let me ask it this way. Or you can sit in the silence. Give them the space. And I'm going to suggest that you do the second one. Quiet space is our friend, because what's going to happen is they're going to be forced to really think on the conversation. They're going to be able to think on the question that was asked. And that's what we want. We're trying to train our students to think. So don't be scared of quiet spaces. Don't be scared of letting the conversation breathe. Let your students think. Let them take this in and formulate something in their minds. Use the quiet space. Don't be nervous about it. Number 5 out of 6 is text them weekly. We've already talked about this once, but I think this is necessary to bring up again and overemphasize. Disclaimer, some of our younger students, middle schoolers, are not going to have cell phones, and if so, you're kind of off the leash there. But at the same time, that should mean that you are connecting with their parents. Go ahead week by week, either text your student or text their parents. Hey, you're going to be there this week. Hey, how is basketball going? How is the play going? How is school going? Go ahead and still be involved in their lives. And let me just say this for the rest of this video and here on out. Whenever we talk about texting students, if you do have younger ones, then we're substituting text their parents instead. Again, what's going to help you in small group conversations is having already had conversation with kids outside of youth group. When you know what sport they play, when you know what they love, what they're good at, what movies they watch, you can make those references. You can connect with them in that way, and that is going to help you during your small group time. So as a part of your weekly routines to set yourself up well for small group, go ahead and text your students or text their parents every single week. Number 6, this should be a given, but it is closed with prayer. This is the culture that we want to set here in our student ministry. Again, only Jesus, that's one of our values. We are pursuing God in all that we do. So after every small group, we want to close our time in prayer. How you do this is up to you, whether you want to call on a student or you want to pray over the students yourself. I've had some people rock up where you hit hands. I've had other groups huddle up as a group. Whatever you want to do is totally fine. Let me just say this. If you're going to ask students to pray, don't use this as an embarrassment moment. Don't say, well, now you have to pray. No, we are going before our Heavenly Father. Let's set a culture. Let's set an environment of honor, not just for each other, but for the Lord. So do not use prayer as a weapon in that way. Use prayer in a sense of, man, hey guys, we're going to take a minute and we're going to go before our Heavenly Father. So bring reverence into that conversation. And if you have to lead it every single week, that's okay. And that is totally fine. But lead out of reverence and close in prayer after every time. Quick recap. Here's the 6 we just talked about. Divide into small ratios. Get everyone involved. Redefine the win weekly. Allow for quiet spaces. Text your students or their parents weekly. And number 6, close with prayer. Hopefully these tips and these routines can help you to have an incredible, fruitful small group. That was part 2 of our Leading a Small Group series. Part 3 coming up is all about the skills, things that you can develop personally to continue to lead small groups really well. So go ahead and check that out in our next video.